evening, everybody. We are back for another Dilem-Monday, a big old Dilem-Monday special. I'm pretty excited about that. I know this is a we're doing a little different thing. We've got tonight's show, this regular show, and then while we are on the air, I know the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees will be announced on American Idol. Very cool, very fun. Love that for us. So I will be checking in, and afterwards I will be hosting a post Dilem-Monday Dilem-Monday reaction. So can't wait for that. So yeah. Loving it. So how are
they're being announced at the end of the show?
I remember last year I had to unfortunately sit through an entire episode of American Idol to get to the induction. So that
I forget that show is still on.
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't.
The only thing I know, like I watch the reels. They have the reels on Facebook, so you can watch like the 2-minute reels and
yeah.
I watch for what's her face.
Katy Perry, is she still on?
Yes.
Or Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
Oh.
Yes. I watch for Carrie Underwood, not Katy Perry. I don't like Katy Perry.
Oh.
Carrie. Ugh, Katy Perry.
What's wrong with Katy Perry?
Ugh, she's hard. Carrie Underwood is beautiful.
No one said otherwise.
I listen. She's dating Trudeau. Ugh. So, no, I just don't like him as anything. That's not a political statement that I don't like Trudeau. But
his voice is rather annoying. I'm not going to lie to you. I will agree with you there.
But I know it's been an exciting long week already.
It's been and 2 weeks since our last show. By the way, what a great show. The last one there, the What's My Dilemma. That I'm still very happy with that.
Yeah, that was fun.
That worked out really well, but after we did the show, we found out something really.
Oh my God. I don't even know if we told you this, Dave.
Yeah, so I think I did tell him because Dave went to your show
That's right.
In Brantford at Eli's, and we were talking about one of the panelists.
Yes, okay.
Kilgallen.
Dorothy Kilgallen.
Yeah, and here I just thought she was this very sophisticated, kind of highbrow lady, on the panel of What's My Line. And little did I know that she was so greatly syndicated and had such power and pissed off Mr. Hoover. And
J. Edgar Hoover, yeah.
J. Edgar probably knocked her off. Like, she, Marilyn Monroe, anybody that got a little close on this deal with Who Killed the Kennedy, she was involved.
Yeah, no, that was what. That was what and again, we are neither for the sake of legality, we are not confirming, accepting, what we're not necessarily agreeing or disagreeing or claiming that this is the truth, but that it's looking pretty
it was she just dived in on the Jack Ruby thing and never bought that it was one person, and she went after it, and she pissed off some people, and she was syndicated in 200 different newspapers across the country, and she turned over some things she probably shouldn't have, and Mr. Hoover said, "You better stop," and she didn't. And there was a lot of people who ended up not around after they pissed off Mr. Hoover.
And there might have to be a Dilem-Monday. I know way back when we did a Kennedy assassination episode, like in the deep pandemic, in prime time for conspiracy theories. But yeah, no, wild. This was wild.
Yeah, we started watching all these things about her. And then, 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 and then,
Okay,
Your
I'm,
audio again.
I'm gonna come in and grab you another mic cord because I think
Wait, how about now?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
better.
it's better. It's still crackly though. But I will come here. I'm coming up to do some tech.
Put
I
up
don't
a
think
test
it's a
pattern in the
problem.
meantime.
It's just a matter of if I put it up like this, I think it would probably work better.
Yeah, that's just a little clearer. Is that a different mic than you usually use?
No, it's the RE20. It's like the best broadcasting mic in the world, so it shouldn't.
It's probably just one of the
But
settings then.
Unfortunately, sometimes the XLR cords go.
Yeah.
But this is a telephonic, so it really.
So I am interested in hearing later in the show why this has been a long week for you, even though it's Monday.
I just.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yeah, no. Well, so the reason I got up here and started late, my friend Josh came. Have you ever bought one of those non-IKEA but IKEA type products on Amazon that don't give you the proper instructions and it wasn't built well? And not being a very handy person and living with two other non-handy people, we were going to kill each other on Saturday trying to put it together. Everybody's mad at everybody. Then Sunday, it was a two-pronged file cabinet, one of those big file cabinets that come out, elongated ones. And the drawer's just not going in. It's just there is nothing. I can't get it to work. Lisa and I are getting frustrated. We undo it, think it's backwards, but it wasn't. It was actually right. We're just not handy. We just suck. So Sunday morning, I said, I'm just going to go in there, maybe without Corey and Lisa to annoy me. I'm going to go there, and I'll figure it out myself. And I'm just not very handy. It's just, I'm not. I faced the fact. So luckily, I always know people that I could call that could do things.
Yeah, I feel like you have a wide enough circle that you have a guy for that.
Right. So, and it happened to be that my friend Josh uses the same accountant as I do, and I knew he had to come to Avon tonight anyway. So I said, hey, before you leave, why don't you come to my house? Corey's bathroom door needs to be fixed. I need this file cabinet built. And I was like, how much do you owe the accountant? I'll pay the accountant bill if you fix all this. So,
Dave, say something for the next 30 seconds.
Sorry? Oh, the audio's a little low. I don't know if I can try to hold this down. So at some point tonight, I heard the winners for the Hall of Fame. So, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's a little bit clearer.
Is it? Okay.
Not much louder, but I can hear. I don't know if Corey wanted it higher.
How about now?
Is this good?
Yes, that's louder. I think
okay, because he was the one who told me to lower it before.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, it's clearer now. There's still a little bit of scratchiness, but it's not distracting. I can understand you.
All right, cool. But yeah, so Josh came. I felt semi good. Like I thought, oh my God, he's gonna come here in 30 seconds and just put this damn drawers together. It probably took him a half an hour, maybe 25 minutes to do the drawer. And he did have to do some things like he had to fix some things in the unit to make the unit actually fit in there. You can't just be a lame schmuck like me to do that. You have to have at least some sort of ability. Then he did Corey's door in the bathroom, which again, no way was I able to fix that. Corey couldn't fix that. And it took him about a half an hour to figure out, oh my God, this isn't hard at all. And then he had to dig out the other area to make the lock work. But Corey, you have like a brand new door, and anytime you need to fix, Josh will fix it. He knows how to do it now.
This is beautiful. And I'm usually pretty handy. Like that is one thing. I have few talents, but I am pretty decent with like building things. Despite you never owning tools. So
look, we put together a bunch of things this weekend. We were trying to to really, with the showroom, do some stuff. So, well, actually, Corey, you should make the giant announcement that everybody kind of seen on Facebook, but why don't you tell everybody about it?
Yeah, I was sick all week. No, okay, no, but that was also hysterical. That I felt like freaking Ferris Bueller getting messages about me being sick. Karen, thanks for that one. But no,
Karen says you need to have content every day, and even if Corey's sick in bed, that's content.
we love that for me. But no, but yeah, no. As of this week, papers are signed. I am so coming from the state of Connecticut. Being from the state that gave us Ovation guitars was always a proud part. You know, musically speaking, you know, we have Ovation guitars, John Mayer and Michael Bolton, as our claims to fame. So, of those three, I think Ovation guitars were the ones that I connected with the most. When I graduated high school, what I wanted was an Ovation guitar made in New Hartford, like a vintage Ovation made in New Hartford, Connecticut. And yeah, as of this week, I am an officially endorsed artist with Ovation Guitars, and I'm really, really happy about that. I don't like bragging about things, and I'm not bragging about this, but it's something I'm extremely proud of. It's something I've always really loved, so I'm really hyped for it. I'm really, really excited for where this can go.
I'm so used to Zoom. I was looking for the clap emoji, but StreamYard doesn't have one. But congratulations!
Thank you.
You know,
it was effective immediately.
Yeah, I am in. I'm on.
They gave him a beautiful Ovation guitar and case to start off with. Really, really nice guitar. And we actually, Corey, tell some of the artists that actually have played, you know, through the years, some of the most famous guitar players and people everybody would know.
Yeah, both. So yeah, both electric players who needed their acoustic guitar. So everyone from like Nancy Wilson of Heart to Richie Sambora. And then also singer-songwriters who primarily played acoustic, who wanted a little more versatility on where they can go around. So guys like Glenn Campbell, guys like Jim Croce, Harry Chapin, Bob Marley, Cat Stevens. So we're talking about some of my absolute favorite musicians and singers and songwriters of all time.
You're also forgetting probably the biggest person right now on.
Oh yeah, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominee, at least nominee for now. Who knows? She might end by the end of this broadcast. Might be Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee emeritus.
How cool would that be if she gets in tonight? Based on the, you know,
not emeritus, excuse me. Elect.
You know, with the whole guitar company, like she has the premier guitar for Ovation right now. You know, it's one of the made in America, right in New Hartford. We were watching them build a whole bunch of the Melissa Etheridge guitars, fabulous looking, and the handcrafted workmanship and talent. These guys have been doing this. How many years?
60 years.
Yeah,
60 years. Ovation's been around for 60 years, and Adamas has been around for 50.
So
one of the few companies that started off with a regular brand, and instead of making a budget brand, they were like, we need to make our next tier up brand. So it's an incredible legacy. It's, you know, when you're from this area, you know plenty of people who worked at Ovation, who were involved, played, owned Ovations. So getting to be part of that, you know, 6-decade legacy is huge.
And the company that is in charge now, I think, you know, people should know, you know, the history. And I think a lot of people in this area do know some of the history. You know, Fender bought out the company a number of years ago. And unfortunately, Fender buys companies without a plan and an idea. And they come in and they just don't know what to do with it. And they eventually sold the company to a drum company, DW, who really had no idea what to do with it until finally.
Frankly, they barely know what to do with their drums, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah. Giwa came in, right? Am I saying it right, Corey?
Yeah, Giva.
Giva.
It's German, so the W is just a V.
Yeah, Giva came in, and Giva makes some really cool products. Really nice like guitar stands. But mostly, they do some more juvenile kid stuff. A lot of the smaller, and they have some really good
band and orchestra instruments
and strings and things like that. So bringing in Ovation was a huge move for them. It really gave them a high-end marquee brand while also then bringing in Gretsch drums. So Gretsch is right here as well.
Their the drum company for Gretsch.
Right, not the guitar company. So
if you ask me, I like the drums better than I like the guitars.
So we took a plant tour the other day. Sue Gallagher, shouts out to Sue. She was kind enough to bring us in and get to meet everybody there. And we saw the warehouse, and then we got a great tour of the new shop where they're making everything. And they showed us the Melissa Etheridge guitars that were being made, and they showed us some of the new carbon fiber stuff that they've come out with, which is really neat. How they inlay the mother of pearl, and what's the other thing that goes around the guitar, Corey? What's that looks like mother of pearl?
Why? Oh, now I'm blanking on it.
I forget what but it was gorgeous.
I'm blanking on the word. I feel like an idiot.
It's fine. We'll come back to it, but yeah, we had a great time. And then shouts out to Mulligan's, where the Ovation Factory used to be. We went out to lunch, and Ovation was kind enough to take us out, discuss everything that was going on. And they made the offer that Corey could represent the company and be endorsed by the company. And it was a wonderful opportunity. It was a lot of fun, but also on the business side. So if anybody is looking for Ovations, Cord, Sano Studios, we will be the closest dealership in the country to Ovation. We are selling all Ovations. We'll be selling Gretsch drums and Giva equipment as well. And,
by the way, we have a just in announcement. So I guess for the first time ever, they're not announcing everyone at the same time, but it is confirmed, ladies and gentlemen, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Billy Idol.
Moni.
He is in? Okay.
He is in, and it's about time.
So they're just announcing them periodically throughout the show?
I really hope that's not the case, because that's annoying. I guess
that's how they get everybody to stay and watch the show.
That's such a corporate maneuver. I'm sure that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a smart move if you think.
Yeah, well, because last year I had to watch the entire show, and I bet you that a lot of people stopped watching. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, so I finally got to use the just in ticker.
You never been able to before?
I have not had to yet. I made it for the few times I had to type it in manually, but
okay. At least it wasn't for a celebrity death. That would be a more likely to feel this just in kind of notice.
Which is usually what I kind of had it ready for.
Wow, but hey, I think Billy Idol should have been in a long time.
He's been eligible since 2007.
He also has one of my favorite, movie scenes ever in The Wedding Singer.
Oh my God. I love that movie.
It's such a good movie.
I haven't seen that in a while, but yeah.
So
I love Drew Barrymore so much.
She's so cute. She really
is so cute.
She's adorable in those movies.
She inducted a band into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She inducted the Go-Go's, and while she was giving her speech, she wrapped her head with the towel. She put a towel on and put a green face mask, just like the Beauty and the Beat cover.
Yeah, I saw them a gazillion years ago at the Nassau Coliseum. They opened up for the Police, which was a pretty good concert. It was Go-Go's and the Police. And again, people should really be careful of who you have as your opening band, because I thought the Go-Go's were better than the Police that night.
And no insult to the Police either.
No. I mean, I love the Police. It was good. They're a good band, but I thought the Go-Go's were a lot more fun. And and that happened to me a bunch of times when I've gone to the Nassau Coliseum. I've told you guys before. I went to the Tina Turner, Lionel Richie. Speaking of American Idol, and at that time in the mid '80s, probably 1984, 85 timeline. I think it was '84. Lionel Richie was probably the biggest star in the world. He was even bigger than Michael Jackson briefly because Lionel's stuff was still on the up. Thriller was kind of just ended, so he was kind of in between. Bad hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So Lionel was on top of the food chain, and Tina Turner had been kind of forgotten about. And Lionel thought he'd be a good friend. Tina, come on, open up for me.
And he was
That
a
was
good friend.
mistake. He was a good friend, but oh my God. She came in there and wow, what a show she put on. It was
But
so
you know the
good.
thing with him, like he doesn't seem like he has like this crazy ego that other people like. I think he seems like he knows he knows his own worth to the point that he's always look at all the things he's done in his career. He's written for other people. He's done, he did the We Are the World stuff. He likes seeing people succeed. I can see the, if we're all doing, if we're all winning, we're all winning kind of thing. Like, and again,
I'm a Lionel Richie fan. The thing though that broke my heart, all those love songs. Then he cheated on his wife. He always thought he was writing about his wife, but evidently not.
Once, two-timer, three-timer, many ladies.
Lady. Yeah, no. And then and how about his daughter? How he that's the craziest story. Dave, do you know this story about Nicole Richie?
I just remember she was like a reality star for a while. I don't know too much beyond that.
All right. So Nicole Richie is the adopted child of Lionel Richie. So she was this beautiful little baby that one of the band members in Lionel Richie's band child, and it must have had at a wedlock. I don't know the story, whatever. But Lionel and his wife said, we would like to adopt your child. We want your child. And the guy said, yes, you can have her. Now, there's another little thing about this, though. Corey, do you know the drummer who's her aunt, real aunt, blood aunt?
Sheila E., right?
Sheila E. is her real aunt. That was the member of the band's sister is Sheila E. So Sheila E. is her aunt. It's just a crazy story, this whole thing.
All right. I don't think I knew about that.
Yeah, so I don't think they spread the rumor around a lot, but and I love Sheila E.
Which, by the way, Sheila E., where is she in the Hall of Fame? Like there's the musical excellence, the committee that you're like non-performer committee, but you get selected for your musical excellence because you not just have your own career, but you've been a part of other things, studio musicians, touring musicians, songwriters who
have she get in when Prince gets in with the
No, because Prince went in. Prince did not get inducted with the Revolution. Prince did not get inducted. Wendy and those folks did not get inducted. It was Prince, just Prince,
and that's kind of Prince's way of doing things.
Well, yeah, but also, Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam got inducted on their own right in the same category. So with that in mind, I think Sheila E. because I almost think it would be insulting just to put her in as a performer because she did so much with so many other people too. Think about it. She's on all the Michael Jackson records.
Yeah, no. I listen. You're not going to hear me say anything negative. I mean, this is my timeline. That's when I really, paid a lot of attention more to music. Not that I don't pay a lot of attention now, but it was funny. In high school, I really didn't care about music as much. I was more about sports. But then as I got in college, I really started enjoying music more and seeing more shows and things. And obviously now I live, breathe, drink music all day long. So it's, I think, I don't know if anybody who knew me in high school would have ever guessed that I would be this deep into the music scene at this point, but it is what it is.
I wasn't expecting I'd become a comedian when I was in high school. That threw me for a loop.
Well, it's funny because you're you're a quiet, very, very smart, intellectual person. So in school, probably in high school, no one in the world would have thought you're really the class clown that's been deep inside.
Yeah, no, and I think with most people who get into comedy, people assume everyone's Robin Williams. They walk in the room, it's party mode, and most professional comedians aren't like that. Some are.
Right.
Some bring high energy to the stage. It's just we don't all do that.
Well, because I think a lot of us always have the Eddie Murphy. Well, again, I can't say that because I don't think half the kids today even know that Eddie Murphy was a comedian.
Yeah,
and a great comedian. But I think anybody who's the 70s and 80s child thinks of like Eddie Murphy coming out, in his red leather pants and doing all his crazy imitations and nonsense. And I think that's what we go by. And I guess we also think of the insult guys like the Don Rickles of the world and and then guys like Dangerfield that just he's just ripping his routine.
So
I mean, that guy
I heard a brief little snippet from him, George Carlin's daughter, and she was like, when he was at home, he was dad. He wasn't he wasn't a comedian. He was a thinker. He was he was closer to like a philosopher than he ever was a comedian. So Dave, I know this is high praise with that, but I put you into that category. You're a guy you're not just funny, you're humorous. And humor, I think, is taking that which is intelligent and finding the fun in it.
Well, he makes you think. Dave makes you think. He gives you this, he could find the most insignificant, weird thing. And then he's like, he makes you think about it. It's like, why do they do that? That's absurd. You're right. That's just a stupid thing. You're absolutely. And then I'm like, Dave, why did you bring that up? Because now I'm like fixated on it all goddamn day, how stupid this issue is.
I have had people come down hard on me for how much I made them think about this one thing that they'd always just taken for granted. And then I made them pull it apart. And I was like, well, hey, I got to do it. So I'm just spreading it around.
I'm a sharer. I'm a giver. Yeah, no, that's but Seinfeld does that. That's his type of thing. Whereas there's guys like a Stephen Wright, who I really don't think is like a thinker. He just talks slow and is irritating, and you just get annoyed at him by the time. So and then there's guys like Carrot Top. Who just really are annoying. Remember Gallagher?
Yeah. He was both. He had some really funny, insightful humor. I never understood like the origin of the whole watermelon thing.
No,
It was just so bizarre, but it became, it's what he became remembered for.
Yeah, that is one of those weird anomalies that this guy who did so many other things and was so versatile kind of got stuck in a box over this one thing. I remember when we had Brian Barganier on, that was we were discussing Gallagher. Shout out Brian wherever the hell you are at the moment.
Still Pennsylvania.
So let me actually, Dave, this is a serious question. Have you ever been to the Friars Club?
No, someone told me a couple of years ago that that's active and that they were impressed with me and might recommend. I never followed up and I never heard. I don't know how that works. I could look into it, I guess.
You totally should. Like I would think that's like going to NAMM as a musician. You know what I mean? That's like every great comedian at some point you want to go to the Friars Club, just to be seen, right?
I guess, and I think they used to be associated with roasting. I think the old Dean Martin roasts, I think we're affiliated with them. I don't know if that's still the case. What they're if that's still part of it. I'm not sure. I guess I could look into it. I have thought about it here and there, but never actively.
Y'all know who the first? So it used to be men only. which I think is part of why it was the Friars Club.
Oh.
Does anyone know who the first woman to do a set at the Friars Club was?
Would it be like Phyllis Diller?
Okay, you are so close. You are absolutely in the right vein there. It was Carol Channing, and she dressed up as a man.
Oh,
Okay, you didn't give me my chance.
I'm sorry.
I was literally, and the only reason I was
I
gonna
believe
say
you.
Carol Channing, and I remember I told you
Yeah.
that Carol Channing was my customer at Christie's
That's
years
right.
ago. So, you know, when I worked
Yes.
at Christie's, I was in the billing department when I was in college. So I would handle a lot of, because Christie's was at that time really one of the only delivery supermarkets, and they had about 20 something supermarkets within the Manhattan area. And we had a lot of my accounts that didn't pay their bill on time happened to be like famous people. Like I think I told you, the David Letterman show never paid their bill. It was like a constant thing, like calling the Letterman show.
By the way, yesterday was. Are you ready for this? His 79th birthday.
Letterman,
That's crazy.
you know,
I mean,
I remember his first show that failed.
The daytime show.
Yeah, the daytime show.
well,
He was
And
a weatherman, wasn't he?
well, I don't know about that part. I just remember when
probably before that.
yeah, they gave him his show, and he was too young for the show at that point. If that makes sense, he wasn't confident enough to be not confident on stage. Like the shtick didn't work. He was too young, and he didn't get it yet.
Hmm.
So when he got the shot on the late time side of things, he'd been beaten up a little bit more. Because I think sometimes if you get it too quickly, you don't appreciate it and you don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I think he got beat up a little bit, and I think he kind of understood it after a while. So that was cool that he was able to get a second chance.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the early the daytime show. Did that run a year less?
I don't
Was that
even think it lasted a year.
Was that
don't
national
think
or just like a local market?
You know, I was in New York at the time, so those of us from New York just thought the world revolved around us, as you know. Well, if you talk to Lisa's like, when we were kids, we just thought everybody started in New York. Like you had to grow up in New York and then you left, but
Yeah.
you know, you had to start there. Everybody came from New York, didn't they? And I think every Long Islander truly does believe that.
Who's the guy that had that public access show in New York for like a billion years and everybody was on it? Like whoever
Dr.
existed?
Demento?
No, not Dr. Demento. I know Dr. Demento.
I know who you're talking about from out east.
I'm not sure who you mean.
Uncle Floyd.
Uncle Floyd too. Oh my God. Wait. Oh my God. There's another guy, and
Uncle Floyd.
And no, it's another guy. I swear. And I remember discovering him a few years ago. Like the Ramones used to go on all the time. Like he would have all like this whole.
Oh, Franklin.
Yeah, Joe Franklin. Joe Franklin show.
Channel 9, WOR TV. Joe Franklin.
Never saw that.
Oh my God. That was a great show because he was such a terrible host. It was so funny. He had like no personality. You know, this is Joe Franklin, the Joe Franklin show. You know, he has his glass. You know, and then like I think Jack LaLanne was on before him.
That's going back a ways.
Yeah, no, it was.
What's his face used to do an impression of him on Saturday Night Live? Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal used to do it. Yeah. I remember that.
Billy Crystal would do Joe Franklin show, the Joe Franklin show. You're here on the Joe Franklin show.
But that's one of those that's not funny anymore because no one knows who Joe Franklin is except for you got to be at least my age. And to be honest, Joe was. I mean, I used to sit there and watch the Joe Franklin show with my dad. You know, it was Channel 9. Because those of us again who grew up on Long Island, you know, Channel 9 was the place that you watched wrestling, roller derby, the $1 Million Movie, and the Joe Franklin show. So, you know, was great.
Is wrestling with Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2025 inductee Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah,
Any
this
more
is before
announcements?
then.
Let me do an update here. Let's see. We're using all of my screens tonight for all this information.
Checking the news wire.
Yeah, no, we're cutting edge here. We're trying to break new grounds here on Dilem-Monday. We did a phenomenal multi-camera show in black and white. So thus far, no inductees besides Billy Idol yet.
So they just announced one, and you got to watch.
Yeah, I guess he was. I guess he was
show,
on the show itself.
Oh, I see.
Oh, so Billy's there tonight. Okay.
Yeah, so they announced that he would be there. Do you know what happened today in history in 1997?
No.
April 13th, 97. No,
Okay, just give it.
So
Yeah.
Today was in 1997, the last Whaler game happened in Hartford.
Oh wow. Wow. So I was, oh my God. Yeah, I was probably there.
So you were still going to games after I was born? Because I would have been 2.
I had seats.
Whether or not you went, though, is a whole other story.
I used to give my seats away most of the time to customers because I had the Boston Celtics would play 5 or 6 games in Hartford. I think it was 4 games and 2 preseason games. And then I had the full Hartford Whalers schedule. I had definitely much better seats for the Whalers than I did for the Celtics. And then I guess by the time the second kid came, you know, the Whalers left, the Celtics stopped coming, and we were ahead tails into the children thing. So we were done. Plus, my business grew really big at that point, so it was really tough to justify me going out and getting principals drunk and watching a game. So yeah. Plus, they shut down the the mall was closed in there. They used to have Chuck's Steakhouse in there, and I used to be able to go and do things, and
which is crazy. You go to a Wolfpack game and you're like, how the hell did this sustain the NHL? And it didn't.
Well, it was cool. I mean, again, there was a mall. Plus, you also got to remember that on the block, that big giant building on the corner there was the G Fox building. At one time, whoa, what the hell is that flying over here?
A mall.
It was the second or third largest department store in the world, believe it or not. The G Fox building in Hartford, right on the corner, was one of the largest stores in the world. And you had Sage Allen right next to that. One time Hartford was actually a happening place. Now it's a absolute ghost town over there, where it can't even sustain a bar. So, I mean, literally, if you don't go over by where Arch Street is, there's nothing. The whole main strip there's nothing. What's called Steam, that even went out.
Yeah, City Steam, yeah. Dave, did you ever go to a Whaler game?
No.
Yeah, no, I feel like, and again, it's how I ended up an Islander fan. So to some degree, I'm thankful for it. Even though, don't even get me started about how the greatest downfall in NHL history. What a great start to the season, but I feel like my birthright was stolen from me. I was supposed to be a Whaler fan, and I was born. I was born into that, but and with that in mind, I couldn't become, my parents are from New York, so I couldn't become a Bruins fan. If I was a Whaler fan, I could never become a Devils fan, Flyers fan, Ranger fan. So I was when I was deciding my team, I was like, the Islanders?
Whatever. And I've told the story a million times. Lisa and I are actually older than the Islanders. So when we were kids, we were Ranger fans. Now, many of those who are my age took to the Islanders because we lived on Long Island, and obviously it's much easier to go to the Nassau Mausoleum than it was to go to MSG. And then obviously the championships that the Islanders put together. And to be honest, I probably loved the Nets more than I liked anybody else at that time too, because Dr. J was playing in the ABA, so I saw them win 2 championships with Doc. But I was a Ranger fan. My favorite player was Phil Esposito. So that was and Ron Duguay. Now, do you guys know who Ron Duguay dates?
No.
Get out your cowbell.
Oh, the Trudeau from Canada?
No. That's
Well, that was the other time the
that
cowbell came out.
two-timing bastard.
no. Sarah Palin dates Ron Duguay.
Oh,
Married.
She was.
Oh,
Not anymore.
jeez.
The guy who didn't wear the hat with the big long Sassoon hair. Dates Sarah Palin. That's a thing.
God. That's a throwback. She's a throwback, and I'm going to not break my own rules and just leave it at, what a throwback.
Listen, I'm just giving you the news here. I'm trying to keep you up to date on hockey news.
I mean, it makes sense. The woman's from Alaska. And I noticed we mentioned that woman's name, and then all of a sudden we lost 2 people from watching live.
But then the Rangers also had Ron Greshner. And do we know who he dated?
No.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
You're gonna look it up because you're gonna find out. She was a supermodel. She was in the Howard Stern movie. You know the person that Howard sat next to on the plane?
Lori Greshner?
No. His first wife.
Allison.
No, not Stern's. Greshner's first wife.
I'm trying to find this out.
You don't remember who he sat next to?
I don't remember her name. No. I know who you're talking about.
I'm not telling you because that's... And it was a big fight on the Howard Stern show for years because Fred Norris insisted that she
Carol
was not.
Alt?
Carol Alt, exactly. She believes she was one of the first supermodels. I believe she was. But Fred Norris of the Howard Stern show continually said that she was not a supermodel. He did not deem her as a supermodel.
Wasn't
Fred
Twiggy
Norris.
like the first supermodel?
Well, she was, but Carol Alt was a big-time supermodel, and Greshner had her go to games all the time. So when you went to see the Rangers, Carol Alt was there. It was kind of cool. So yes, that was the. I couldn't believe you didn't get that one. I'm shocked.
I'm a shocking individual. I keep you on your toes, you know?
No, but that's very unlike you to not get a question like that. And Dave, I'm a little disappointed in you on that one. Gotta say.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. It was a great movie, but I don't remember certain parts.
The private ones. Oh.
They were all private in that movie.
The worst scene is Fart Man. I have to. That was horrible.
Wait, that came after the movie.
Well, that was part of the movie.
The great. What are you talking about? The greatest intro in the history of cinema?
Fart Man.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yes, that was a big. So, as you know, I was a gigantic Stern fan back in the day. I will not even watch it anymore. I think it sucks. He became Don Imus, not the good Don Imus, the Don Imus that he made fun of. That's who he is now. Not funny, not cutting edge. He's actually just mean now, to be honest. You know, he's politically correct and mean. It's like
senility kicks in at some point.
Yeah, and and when you don't feel like putting the effort in anymore, just quit. Like, I don't know.
With that paycheck,
I guess when you get paid $100 million, you don't just quit. I understand the. Hell, you don't even have to go to work. You can just go down in your basement all the time at this point, right? I saw that he's in a lot of trouble though. He and his wife are being sued by their assistant.
Oh, didn't hear
They
that.
said that she said that they were
Hostile workplace.
A hostile workplace.
By the way, other people who were in the fart man scene of
Stamos.
Stamos was there. Mia Farrow, Crackhead Bob was there. Ozzy Osbourne, I remember. Dee Snider, Tiny Tim, Flava Flav, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Flava Flav, John Popper, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Slash, Ted Nugent, MC Hammer.
What a roster!
Amazing. And just I'm like looking at the whole cast. Like, you had some great like half
surprising, especially at that point in time.
Half the cast of The West Wing was in it.
No, the current person who stays in The West Wing was not in it. If you think about it, because he used to come on the show a lot at that point. Like, that's before they broke up his friendship, you know, before he'd run for president and everything. You would have thought he would have been there.
Yeah, though, as we could tell, he's not exactly one that enjoys parody of himself.
And he did the
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
And they did a Comedy Central roast of him.
Yeah, which
actually he used to go on. He used to go on. What's that terrible show with the four women? The View. Come on, that's a terrible show.
I didn't think you meant the Golden Girls.
Yeah, well, they might as well have been.
I actually, at that moment, I wouldn't have been shot. Like early 90s him.
Well, I know he was on with Babs and you know, when it was cooler, Meredith Vieira. You know, when it wasn't a horrific show that it is today. I'm just shocked that anybody goes on that show or watches
Price is
it.
still on that and American Idol.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
ABC. What you doing? What you doing, ABC? What you doing?
Yeah. I mean, the Five might have the worst humor in the world, but at least it's funny. Come on, that's hysterical. If you're not a fan of Big Tyrese, you're just not. You just don't get it. He's the funniest.
Yeah. Oh man, I guess I feel bad. So, Carrie Underwood performed "Rebel Yell" with Billy Idol.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I want to watch that.
And by the way, the guy who's getting who's getting kicked out of the Hall of Fame is his guitarist Steven Stevens. He was there.
He has two first names.
On top of that, but like, he was there. He's the guy who wrote the riffs to those songs. He was there all of Billy Idol's career, in the same regard that Pat Benatar got inducted with her husband Neil Giraldo. Steven Stevens should be part of the induction of Billy Idol. It's
as his husband.
Yes. Well, seeing as they both look like lesbian grandmas at this point, so it's part of your progression as a male rock star. At some point, you look like someone's grandma.
Well,
Steven Tyler
like that since the 90s.
Yeah, Steven Tyler definitely looks like someone's grandma.
Dude does look like a lady in this case.
That love in an elevator. That was a long elevator ride.
Or do you remember when your grandma Laura, when she got those?
Oh my god, the hair! Oh my god, the haircut from the one barber. She's like,
I look like a lesbian. She gave me a lesbian haircut. She was so annoying.
She was, and understandably, she was heartbroken.
It's hysterical.
I know. We're gonna get sued by the Disney Corp, but here's some footage of what.
Make it blurry. That's like
Apparently,
we got in trouble 2 weeks ago for playing your own
song. We got a Facebook hit. We got a Facebook strike because I used my own song. I had to write a letter that said, "Hi, I'm me. I wrote this. My name's on the page."
They probably needed two-step verification for that too.
It wasn't easy to get it released. Like, he had to literally fight it. But But you know what? He was on the charts, on the folk charts. What's the other chart you
yes,
made?
on the group. Yes, I was on the group. The song is number 16 on the Groover folk charts. It's number 30 something on the indie charts on Groover. Excuse me.
Very
No,
nice.
it's definitely done very, very well. We've heard great things about Zach's video. Both, by the way, Postfix. You guys need a music video, you need headshots of your band or any kind of thing, comedians. Hell, just for your office, go with Postfix. Zach Hebron does a phenomenal job. He's on our show quite a bit. So it should be cool. By the way, Corey, this week we have a mini vacation, and then you have a fun thing going on this weekend.
Yes, I know.
Guest host who's not here today.
Yeah, no, James. It is James's bachelor party. We are going to Newport. It's going to be a great time.
But it was funny because originally I said, hey, let me see if I can get you guys one of the timeshare deals. So I'll throw a shout out to Michael Lanosa and Fred Lanosa. A number of years ago during the pandemic, a lot of people were canceling their timeshares, and Fred Lanosa saw an opportunity. That's Mike's dad. For those of you know, Mike's one of our drummers for the Dilemma. And he saw an opportunity that, hey, they had all these places paid for in these weeks that were available. And there was always some open weeks. And he made a deal with them, RCI, which is the largest timeshare exchange, for millions of points he bought. And he started a company that you could buy points. And the cool thing was you don't own anything. All you own is points every year, but you get to be RCI Platinum membership, which is really cool. And I'll go over that in a minute. But you had to put a certain amount of money up front. And Michael told me about what his dad did, and I was one of the first investors in this particular plan. So I get a certain amount of points every single year that I could do whatever I want. But more importantly, they have last minute deals at the last second where something is open. So this week, while I was looking at the Newport stuff a few weeks ago, they had 2-bedroom suites right on the wharf in Newport for $50 a night. They go for over $1,000+ a night. I got it for $50 a night. So Corey's going down to Newport with me on Wednesday, Thursday, and he'll just stay Friday and go with his buddies to James's bachelor party. But I will go home. But I was like, dude, $50 a night. And I feel bad. Lisa can't come. Alicia can't even come.
Oh, I was informed. I think Kenny will be joining us.
He will be joining us. Yes.
Yes, he was invited tonight on the show. And remember, to our viewers who are listening, I know it's 9:00. We still got 30 minutes left, but remember to join me after the show. I am going to be doing a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction reaction special here on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure to tune in. It'll be starting at 10:00. So that way I can get the info in. I know American Idol should be ending by then, where they will announce that. And as we did mention earlier, we did have our breaking news that Billy Idol is the first announced inductee this year. So congratulations to him. About goddamn time.
How could they have not brought anybody else on yet? I guess Billy Idol was on the show, so they announced him.
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood probably said, if you're inducting him, I want to perform with him, because she's fun.
Well, Carrie Underwood does some of the badass like metal stuff and grunge stuff. Like she's just cool.
She opens for Guns N' Roses.
I know. Well, they should open for her at this point, just so we get that straight.
I know.
Speaking of grandma-looking people,
Axel does.
Axel.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, I think that Carrie is the bigger star at this point, if you ask me. But that goes with my opinions on that. But I was going to say, so I'm excited about Newport this week. I'm excited about going away. Now I'm even more excited. Ken's coming. So we have not done a Ken Sperling, Corey Riemann, Craig Riemann trip since Lake George many, many moons ago.
Oh God, that was something.
And the Lake George, Darren Bessie was with us on that trip as well.
That was an experience.
This is underage Corey, but he was a teenager, but young teenage. Like
I was barely a teenager.
Yeah, and we went to Six Flags one of the days down in Lake George. Corey had not really liked roller coasters at this point. I think, didn't Kenny offer you like a $20 bill to go on the loop like?
Yeah, I'm apparently a cheap but that's okay.
So Kenny gave him the $20. Corey's all in. I have never seen a person more petrified. Like, I was worried.
I'm pretty sure I had a seizure.
It's like this kid's just going, like,
when a carnival ride?
It was like one of those loop upside down, then backwards.
Oh,
I was gonna kill all of you.
No, you weren't gonna do anything. You were comatose. You were like, oh.
You're lucky I was, because patricide would have happened.
Listen. You're a loser. But
I would have been both of the Menendez brothers.
Listen, the only thing that I had fear was telling your mother that you became a statue from that.
Because you did the same thing to that poor woman in the late 80s on Space Mountain.
People are weird. She demanded the ride should stop. Stop the ride. They didn't know who they were dealing with. So, but the thing that I will remember, we stayed at one of the lakeside places at Lake George. It was not one of the good hotels. We got it on Hotwire, and Kenny decided that we were put in the help section, like, you know, where the staff stays. We were in those rooms.
The get help section.
Yeah. Ken's like, I'm upgrading my room, dude. I don't care if it's another $200. I'm staying in the main section. So he goes in that section. Now, while we're in the pool that night, there are all these Canadian stewardesses and British stewardesses. And they're having the best time. And I'm not going to tell you that I was not having a good time, because these girls, they forgot how to tie their bathing suits well. Let's go there. And Corey, as a young man, was enjoying every moment of it. We were having a good time that night. It was funny. And these girls' room, again, we were by the most horrible section of the place. They were next door to us. So we finally go to bed. Darren was in a bad mood, right? He was like tired and he wanted to go to sleep. All of a sudden, probably 2-3 o'clock in the morning, we hear this horrific smash. Some dude was in their room, like they're having a party in the room, and the guy got thrown through the glass window. Luckily, it was like only a half a story down. Jeez. But he landed in the Hells Angels bikes, and the bikes get knocked over. It looked like something from a Bronx Tale. Bikes. Now, the guy who's supposed to be mature and the guy that should be handling this stuff well would be Darren, because Darren was a police officer for the Hartford PD. But Darren's also a biker. He loves his bike, and he yells at them, "Dude, I'd effing kill that guy if he knocked over my bike. You should kill him." Meanwhile, the guy's like laid out in glass. These girls are still partying, by the way, next to us. It was a fun time. So
maybe not for him.
No, probably not for him. And Ken missed the entire event. He was in, the wealthy section with all the people that he's like, "What happened? What went on here?" We're like, "Dude, you missed the best show ever." So this time, I don't know if it will be as eventful
I hope to Christ not.
The Newport deal. I hope it'll be somewhat fun.
I hope it's
Kenny
fun.
and I are much older now. You're old and not so fun anymore. So we'll see what happens.
I've never been fun.
That's true. That's why we like your sister more than you. Because she's fun. Not really. But anyway.
That's how you know you did well as a parent. Either of your children are fun.
Is that one of the
That sounds very 16th century.
Lucky your mother's a party animal.
It's the only sense of fun I got.
Was your mother?
Yeah, at least I got some fun genes.
Oh my God. Listen, I go out to more how many people my age go to frat parties, sorority parties, ridiculous parties all over the place? By the way, we got a cool show. Did you send in all the paperwork?
Yes. I need the W-9 still. They said fill out a new one. It's fine, but I sent in all the photos that I needed and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, Corey got a gig at
the Commonwealth at the MGM Grand, October 2nd.
Yeah, I think it's October 2nd. So that should be fun. They were trying to get us a gig during the summer, but we were booked every one of the dates that they had opened. So we finally had a date open in October. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be the first time you're back there since
it was a parking lot.
Yes, you opened up for the famous twins, the Nelson twins,
the Sons of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The first class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Ricky Nelson,
died freebasing on a plane.
Didn't it just crash, or what was he?
No, they were freebasing on the plane. That is a real story. Corey, you're frozen.
Yeah.
Am I?
The video's been freezing on and off throughout, but it keeps coming back.
Oh no!
But not the audio. We can hear you.
Well, that's the audio. You're fine. Everybody, your face is frozen, and I don't know who you are looking like that, but
that is a rumor, by the way.
That you're frozen.
No, while rumors circulated immediately following the December 31st, 1985 crash that Ricky Nelson or his crew were freebasing cocaine on the National Transport Safety Board, investigation concluded the fatal fire was caused by a faulty malfunctioning gasoline-powered cabin heater, not drug use.
Oh, so they may have been.
At least that's what they're telling us.
They may have been having a garden party.
You beat me to it, son of a bitch.
But we had that was a very cool gig. I've talked about it a few times. My dad was there. And that was probably the second or third time we ever had the Dilemma Band. And I think that was right after the first time we had gone to PPRN radio. Shout out to Pete. Or maybe it was right before we went on PPRN radio. Corey, you're totally frozen again.
No.
Now you
there have been times where he was still and I thought he was frozen, but then not. Very industrious.
Oh, okay, it's happening. Phil Collins, Iron Maiden.
Oh. Are these winners?
Joy Division in New Order.
Just having a seizure.
Ugh.
Oasis. Sade.
Yay.
Luther Vandross.
Luther.
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with. And Queen Latifah's getting the Musical Excellence Award, it looks like. And who's MC Light?
I've heard of MC Light. I didn't know she was that established.
I thought it was
one of the nominees.
I thought it was a drink.
Celia Cruz.
It is
oh
now.
My God, Celia Cruz. Graham Parsons is finally getting inducted.
So they're just picking people that weren't on the nominees list?
Jimmy Miller and Rick Rubin. Wow.
Or are these people
and
just bringing the food orders?
You know, we mentioned how Ed Sullivan should get the award. It appears that is the case.
What award?
I guess it'll be a really big show.
Really, really, really big show.
Really, really big show.
Wow.
But Melissa Etheridge did not get it.
Unless I could have missed The first few, I think I saw
So
them all
Wu-Tang got in over Melissa
because
Etheridge.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to with.
All right, thank you, Howard Stern.
Wu-Tang.
All right, I do you want to go with all my problems with this terrible class? Or?
I'm disagreeing with you. I think that this is actually, that's a pretty, like, that's everyone. I think that's everyone I wanted to get in.
Well, that's what's wrong with this country and this world.
With the exception of the Black Crowes. That one's really upsetting to me.
Yeah. So
there's always going to be someone who should be in it and isn't.
Yeah, because
let's go over this list again. Obviously, Billy Idol.
Phil Collins, you said?
Phil Collins. I guess not against all odds, he made it in.
I don't think there were any odds in his case.
I mean, he deserved it. Like he's a superstar, and he deserved it as a solo career because he had gigantic songs. I got no problem with either of the first two. Keep reading.
Again. Wait, let me see if I can if it's actually written yet. And again, make sure to join me after the show. In about 45 minutes, with possibly some special guests to discuss.
Well, we're leaving at 9:30.
I know you guys are.
Yes.
But
I did not get to finish my dinner because we had other things that happened.
Oh, by the way, yet again, the winner of the fan vote, New Edition, are not getting inducted.
Which to me is bullshit. I like New Edition. They had giant songs.
In the
80s, they were big. Or 90s actually, they were very big.
Like they split off in the night. All the members were influential after that.
Yeah, so I think that's
okay. So I have the complete list here.
Yeah, let's go over and I'll give you my
the complete list of all. It's what 4 categories? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 4 categories.
Go over the real category first.
So the performers, Phil Collins.
All right, we said that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Billy Idol.
No brainer.
Iron Maiden.
Whatever.
If you're metal is part of rock and roll, and we're talking about possibly the most.
All right, I said whatever. I didn't say no. I said whatever. It's not my favorite group.
I'm shocked that they actually got a New Order and Joy Division. That's amazing.
That's putrid, but okay. I vehemently am against that one. Again, I just don't like Iron Maiden, but I would agree they deserve to be in. Joy Division gives me no joy. I don't like anything about it, but that's a terrible decision.
And again, good for you that you didn't have depression in high school.
I didn't. I was happy. I liked pretty girls and ran track and played football. Why wouldn't I have a bad time in life? It was fun. Go ahead.
Oasis.
Sure, I'll go with Oasis.
Again, even the one song, not that like the one song alone should get you in, but
that one song is ginormous beyond belief.
If they only released that song, it would be worthwhile.
Would it be enough for us.
Yes, Dianu. The other one that I'm like really happy and kind of surprised, Sade.
Sade was a gigantic 80s singer, and I had 2 or 3 of her albums.
And let's not forget, it's the whole band. It's not just her.
Yeah.
I know.
All 4 of them.
Sade was absolutely cool.
Smooth operator.
You had the glass of wine, the beautiful girl.
I know I did make my point. My only complaint about that song is the lyric "coast to coast, New York to Chicago." You're not going coast to coast. If you're saying New York,
in the middle. You stop in the middle in Chicago. You're at Midway Airway. It's called Midway.
The only logical way is if you're
West Coast.
Well, I was gonna say the only way it's logical is if you're going from L.A. to New York and then New York to Chicago. That's the only way I'm seeing that as being.
No, but it's Midway.
Well, the lyric says coast to coast, New York to Chicago.
L.A. to Chicago.
L.A. to is it?
L.A. to Chicago is the lyric. Doesn't Lake Michigan have a coastline in Chicago? Maybe that's what they meant.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa down.
And they
Who,
have
by
that
the way, where the is Gordon Lightfoot? Where the is he? He's a treasure of Canada.
He's not in it?
He is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's bullshit.
Oh wait,
Oh,
isn't the what's your stupid group you like?
the Tragically Hip?
Yeah, they're not in either, are they? It's
And
tragic.
it's bullshit. Well, they're in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, which is really, I think, the most important for them. And then the final two
people ever gone there?
By the way, so to finish off the list of the performer category, Luther Vandross, who
I'm
again,
all in on that.
I will argue possibly the greatest singer of all time.
I don't think I go there, but I can't argue against it.
If you can't find your Sade, you had your Luther.
Yeah, no, you're in.
If you couldn't hook up with Luther and Sade, you have no game, zero game. I don't think even Corey could screw that one up. You know. But anyway,
and then finally, as previously announced, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
That's dreadful, but whatever.
So in the early influences category, which is crazy to me, Celia Cruz, incredible Latin singer. She's from She was a Cuban singer, phenomenal. She's a Kennedy Center recipient. I know.
You're in the Trump Center.
Kennedy Center recipient.
Be meaningful again one day.
Listen, I'm just giving you actual what it's called now.
Actually, if you want,
that's not a political
speaking of political nut jobs, who was also very talented, Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti was a jazz musician from Africa who also was he was friends with Paul McCartney and Ginger Baker.
He's a Watusi.
No, that was oh Jesus, who was the Land of a Thousand Dances? That's
I don't care really.
Wilson Pickett.
Thank you. That was Wilson Pickett, who is in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, he was like a trumpet player, a songwriter, but also a political radical. Nut job. Queen Latifah. I mean,
here's my opinion.
Huge career.
Queen Latifah is a better actress than she was performer singer, if you really want to know the truth. I don't get it. I don't understand the Queen Latifah thing. I'm not a fan. I think she's a good actress, though.
Yeah. I'm proving my ignorance, possibly. I don't know who MC Lyte is.
A rapper.
A
female rapper, I believe, from the 90s. I didn't know she was that influential, but okay.
If you couldn't get hammer, you got lit.
And then one of my favorite musicians of all time, the king of country rock, Graham Parsons, the mystical cowboy, former member of the Byrds, had 2 incredible solo records. The work he did with Emmylou Harris, absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
Okay. Then also, in the musical excellence category, Linda Creed, Eric Martin, Jimmy Miller, and Rick Rubin. It's crazy to me that Rick Rubin hadn't previously been inducted. The number of people he's produced from like every genre, like everything from genre. And then another person who, again, crazy shocked that he wasn't inducted until now, as in the non-performer category, Ed Sullivan.
Well, we have a really big show tonight as well, so it's cool. I just remember the Dancing Bears. They would go on the Ed Sullivan show, and then they would have these guys that would spin the plates. They with bears. It was like wild, and dogs and spinning.
When you think about that show, because like it wasn't just rock and roll that he was bringing into people's households really for the first time on television. What he did for Broadway, like
what he did for Broadway.
No, like he brought the Broadway stage to the rest of America. Like he brought the full casts of these Broadway musicals. Because again, the theater was right down the street. So I'm going to
be honest, and I used to watch the Ed Sullivan show. And again, I was very young, obviously. I don't remember Broadway shows ever on there. I remember the Dancing Bears. I remember the Jugglers. I remember the guys spinning plates, the Beatles, the Elvis Presley.
So the night
that's what I remember.
The night that the Beatles made their Ed Sullivan debut.
Tiny Tim.
Do you know what future rock and roller actually got to make his debut right beforehand? He would later become a member of a group, but he was in he was in the cast of Oliver Twist.
Davy Jones.
It absolutely was Davy Jones. He was playing the Artful Dodger.
That was a kick-ass guess right there.
Did you not know that? I'm impressed.
I actually did not know that. I just literally thought that would make sense.
No, but yeah, before the Monkees were formed, who again should get inducted into the Rock and
I
Roll
got
Hall
it
of
from
Fame.
your clue, basically. So that was, I mean, it was a strong enough clue that I could figure out who it was. Because I know he was on the Ed Sullivan Show. I did not know that night. So
yeah, but
yeah, I used to watch that with my dad. That was, one of the, it's funny. And it's so hard to believe now when houses like ours, and I know we're ridiculous. What do we have? 15 different TVs in this house and like
probably
15 rooms, something like that. Oh, Dave, you know it's true. You've been here enough times. That we don't have TVs in the bathroom is actually surprising at this point. But back in the day, there was a TV in my mom and dad's room, and then there was one TV in the family room. But to be honest, at the end of the day, my dad was tired. He didn't sit down in the family room. We went and hung out in his bed and we watched, the TV shows. And then, later on, I got a black and white TV for my room because my grandma moved in when I was 5 and they bought her a black and white TV and she passed. So I got the black and white TV. But I still rather watch on the color TV in my parents' room.
Of course.
Right? So, yeah, it was so different. Now everybody has their own TV, their own stereos.
Picture in picture.
Oh yeah, we're just spoiled as hell.
But by the way, I have a short list of some of the Broadway shows that had their casts perform or members of their cast perform.
All right, I'm interested.
So My Fair Lady, Rex Harrison and Julie Andrews performed songs from the show to celebrate its 5th anniversary.
And I told you that I actually saw My Fair Lady with Rex Harrison.
That's
many years later.
Very cool. This was in 56.
Yeah, as I said, many years later, Rex came on.
Many years later.
Many
another Julie Andrews appearance. Julie Andrews and Richard Burton in Camelot. We previously mentioned her earlier in the show, Hello Dolly, featuring Carol Channing. West Side Story in 57, including also there were performances of selections from the show by the Kim sisters.
So was Rita Moreno in there?
I believe so. I don't know if she was.
I don't know on the Broadway cast.
But then the only wood that doesn't float.
I was going to say probably.
The other notable performances, Sweet Charity with Gwen Verdon, The Man of La Mancha with Richard Kiley, Oliver, Davy Jones, Annie Get Your Gun with Ethel Merman, Promises. But yeah, no, it was
Man of La Mancha. I heard about that my whole life because my mother had a miscarriage seeing that show. It was so good.
Wow.
Like for real.
Oklahoma.
Maybe these were mostly in our show's earlier run, which might be why Craig never saw them.
You're right.
Yeah,
no, right.
Watching
in the 50s, yeah, because
the show, the format changed
a little later when I was older. Yeah, no, that's a good point, Dave. Absolutely. I know.
The cast of Hair
before my time.
Yeah, the cast of Hair was on the Eds, which is great. When you think about the fact that the show
had no clothes, how the hell can they be on the TV then?
Fun fact with Hair. 4 songs from Hair went to #1 in the charts. Other artists performing them, most of them it was the oh my god, it was the 5 of them. It was why can't I think of their name? But they did Aquarius. Left the Sun.
Fifth Dimension.
The Fifth Dimension.
Yes.
Yeah.
Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis
Jr.
Yeah,
I think he might have just passed away.
Oh, maybe I don't
She
know.
was a beautiful woman, Marilyn McCoo. Very pretty woman.
Oh, and then
I realize that every time I speak, I sound exactly like my father now. I'm like just exerting the exact words that he would. It's frightening. Become your dad.
It's life, yeah.
What are you doing?
No, I was just checking my phone. By the way, Celia Cruz is the first Black Latin artist female to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Pretty cool. Just on stats, cool stats for this year.
All right, just so you know, it's 9:27.
Yes,
and I'm not staying late.
Yes, okay. Yeah, and I've got to get ready for show number 2. The follow-up show.
Dave, what do you have going on?
Saturday, April 25th, will be at Elbow Room in West Hartford.
Oh.
Friday, May 1st.
The 25th. You'll be, what time is that on the Elbow Room?
25th is 8:00. It's a Saturday night.
All right, I should be home and Lisa should be home. Send me a just remind so that we go.
Okay. Dalcona, I think Country Club in Dalton, Mass. Wacona in Dalton, Mass. on Friday, May 1st, and Kinsman Brewing in Southington on Friday, May 8th.
Very cool. Yes.
And yes, my website, and then the one for Comedy Night fundraisers for anyone who wants to raise money by a comedy night. I can help you with that.
Yes.
I forgot to pick a new album of the week, but since it's down here, here is one of my favorite albums from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Joy Division. Unknown Pleasures, the songs of my high school and college depression. Also still down here. The soundtrack to Against All Odds.
I love Against All Odds. That was a good one.
Standing here against all odds. Nothing I can say. So good.
That was like a prom theme for many songs. It was a year after me. That's younger than me. But I did go to a prom as a freshman in college, and that was the theme song Against All Odds.
Was that not a happy song though?
No.
Well, listen, it was for Division Avenue in Levittown, right by Governors. It's not a happy place. Come on.
Was that like
Governors is about the funniest thing there?
Was that like the good riddance time of your life of the 80s?
Wait, Dave, you played at Governors, right? Have you played at Governors?
Once a long time ago. Long Island is heavily, there's so many comics on Long Island, and just getting there is such a headache.
Being there too.
It's in like the back of a dumpy mall that isn't even really a mall anymore, barely. But it used to have Uncle Sam's over there, which was a happening club, and Reds was across the street, and it was like a happening place. So Governors was behind there. And then they had the Levittown High School there, Division. There's MacArthur, which is the better section, and then there's Division, the other section. And they had gotten rid of Memorial by then.
I was gonna say, I know about their park and the cakes that develop in it, but I don't know much about the landscape of Long Island.
MacArthur's Park raining in the stupidest song of all time. Jimmy,
They used to have a Maze there. Maze was a department store, and they had a good record department. But then it became Tri-County Flea Market. I mean, it was such a dump. Luckily, I don't live on Long Island anymore.
Yes. All right. I know you want to eat your dinner, Dave. I know you've been on screens all day. With that in mind, in the words of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Warren Zevon, enjoy every sandwich, donate to your local food bank, and ladies and gentlemen, we will catch you next week for Dilem-Monday. Adios.